A very close map number 1, but an NRG that pushes forward, gets that first win. And now, Chet, I want to ask you, especially as we go into that map number 2 of Haven, you're known for counter-shredding. Is there anything that you were able to catch from that ZETA Fnatic match that you are going to apply for your team today? Or is it more just focusing on the mistakes that you made before and what you can do right to close out the series in 2?
Well, we kind of play a comp that's not similar to Fnatic, but I kind of understood the way they pressured the map versus ZETA. So we're going to try to do something a little bit similar, but we have our own gameplay style, so we're just going to rock with our gameplay.
All right, excited to see what that's going to be. Good luck to you, and back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that, Dryad. And yeah, they have their own play style. They're going to stick to it. I expect NRG to do nothing but there is footage. There is info on this ZETA team, thanks courtesy of Fnatic. So we'll see how that pans out. Of course, Golden Warrior alongside with Mimi, as well as Sean Gares. And let's actually jump into some of the high points in that map for NRG. And Sean, I definitely feel like these retakes that we were seeing from NRG, certainly what you want from this very talented Americas team right now.
So good. This is why NRG has been so dominant on Bind for so long, right? The stall on the default plant, the moving around the map, the playing off of each other in these late round scenarios that you're constantly in on Bind, right? The perfect smokes from Shower, from Som, the mollies on the default, the paint shells on default as well from Victor. These were the pivotal things I thought that turned things into NRG's favor and got this game into OT.
And 40% might not look super impressive, but a lot of ZETA's game plan on this map was built around the post plan, on getting off site, getting those mollies set up where the two duelists fought forward for that initial bit of stall. So winning that many retakes and providing that much stall with the utility you're talking about, Sean, was such an important facet for that comeback from NRG. And I mean, honestly, what NRG style it was. Another slow start, another slow build into a map, but they somehow pull it off at the end and put ZETA in a really tough position.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Bind was looking phenomenal for ZETA Division. That actually takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment for Laz in round 23, which actually could have been a pivotal round for this team. And Sean, you're really looking for players like Laz to be those X factors for the team, because he has been that in the past.
Yeah, this was an insane round to get them 12 on the board, and it looked like ZETA was poised to actually win the game in regulation. And he even got that opening kill on the last round of overtime. I think Laz just had a lot of impact here on the Viper. I think going into this next map, though, we're going to see him maybe lock this chamber again like he did against Fnatic and have a lot more capability in opening the rounds up.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see him back on that agent, because we saw how valuable Ardiis' chamber was here. That was another big reason NRG came back. He was doing great in the first kill department for his team to get them the advantages on that defensive side. But like we've already been talking about, we've seen this team dismantled on Haven before. It really felt to me that if they were going to have a chance to upset in this series, it would have been there on Bind.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Mimi. That was a map that they definitely needed to walk away with, and it's certainly going to sting for sure. Let's actually go ahead and hear what Coach Junior had to say ahead of map 2 for ZETA Division.
A map number 1 that doesn't go the way of ZETA, but I'm here joined by Junior. And my question to you is, what is going to be the #1 priority for the team to be able to bring this back in that second map?
ジュニアコーチにお伺いしたいです。次のマップ、取り戻すためには、一番大事にしたいことは何でしょうか。
はい。そうですね。次のマップヘイブンどういう構成が出てくるかわかんないんですが、もう自分たちの戦い方をしっかりやって、サイト内の打ち合いとかもちゃんと勝ち切ること、球を当てること、これだけですね。はい。
So in next map Haven, we don't know what the opponent is going to be having for their team comps, but all I want to say is that we need to win the gunfights, and that's how we're going to win this map.
All right, excited to see what's going to happen. Best of luck to you and the rest of the team. And once again, back to you guys.
Thank you so much yet again, Dryad. So ZETA saying, well, we just got to hit our shots. They were hitting their shots that last game. I think that there's a little bit more that meets the eye there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue with that map wasn't hitting the shots, right? These ZETA players were in peak form there. It was NRG coming up with some really good calls at the end of that game to pull things through. And I'm also a little surprised that they're not so sure what NRG's going to play. I'd be really shocked if NRG moved away from Harbor Viper on this map that's been so successful for them.
I think it's almost a lock. that NRG is playing
Also,
Harbor
Chet
Viper.
mentioning that they play a very different comp than Fnatic. Obviously, Junior didn't hear that interview, but still.
And I've seen them in ranked recently, playing Harbor Viper on Haven.
The real insight.
Sam and FNS duo together, and they will be playing Harbor Viper.
Duoing Harbor Viper is so
You had
cringe.
so much disdain in your voice when you said that.
Yes, it is disgusting to see people do that in ranked.
Well, we're going to Haven, and yes, we should hopefully, if you're an NRG fan, be seeing that Harbor Viper, but how wild would it be if they just decide to change it out of left field, maybe? I don't think that's going to happen. That's not really the NRG way, but still, would be cool.
It would be pretty crazy if they did end up making some kind of a change, but it's this Chamber Killjoy composition that ZETA's been playing with the normal initiators in the mix that I actually think could be solid against Harbor Viper if they stick to it. If you set up correctly with this chamber and you can get a Sky Flash to take a peek, take a risk through one of these pieces of smoke utility, it could be pretty good. But another thing Harbor Viper is good at shutting down is AWP players, and generally Laz's AWPing is such a key part of ZETA's success on this map. We saw Fnatic bully him out of short pretty much every single round, and I think that's one of the big reasons that ZETA struggled on defense versus that Fnatic team.
I do think, like you said, I think the ZETA comp can deal with the Harbor Viper quite well. The Chamber can disrespect some of these cascades, particularly towards Long A. He could definitely do it towards C as well. Asher can grapple A main. You have Raze to early shut down things with paint shells.
Oh,
and
no.
the Sky constantly getting information.
Is that the same guy who called out Sick earlier?
No,
I think that's a different guy.
But they'll be sharing a sign later on, I'm sure. I'm kidding. Don't worry, guys. It's all going to be all right. But look, listen, this is going to be a tough game for ZETA. We're not going to sugarcoat it. That being said, though, NRG need to be playing their absolute best, because if they aren't, ZETA will take advantage. Let's send it back over to Brendan Sideshow as we get ready for map 2.
Let's get to it. Yeah, it's the double Sentinel compositions.
Relationship goals,
Making
right
me
there.
giggle at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, this is really interesting. If there was any team, though, that understands how to break down a Killjoy Chamber composition, I think it would be Chet and NRG, because they have run this themselves. Not exactly this composition, but a similar archetype of the comp. And look at how they're set up on the pistol round. We're just set for a clockwise rotation of Haven.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, when we get to see the gameplay, you guys can see it. It's a fully grouped up NRG over towards C. And they are ready for a heavy hit. Likewise for ZETA Division, fully grouped up, trying to take A lobby control. I think you've got to do that. You have a flood defense against the double war comp that NRG are playing, or you'll try and flank and disrupt it. And here it is. Pistol round, flash to the corner. Just to clear it close. Laz, that is dangerous, man. You're not in your TP. Doesn't take the rendezvous.
Brutal, caught out by the Trailblazer, trying to make something happen, worried because the rest of ZETA are so far away.
And there is
Here
that
comes
fast
that flank.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that the flank is so good is because mostly the post plant is going to be dictated by Finesse's utility, and that is focused towards spawn.
Trying to flip the map, maybe? I mean, it's a difficult comp to do so. Yeah, it's all just being contained, except not in Garage Depth. His job really is just to try and hold it back, but they've already flipped it for them, and they've taken spawn out of it here. Finesse with his back to all of it. Still 3 shots will finish off.
That's a big
The
comms
IGL,
problem.
yep, it is. 10 sticking, halfway on, already onto the defuse. Victor from range. Needed to land that one. Sticking, Crow, surely you don't do it, he can't hit it. It's all Victor with the ghost to cover the taps in the end, and that's a pistol round for NRG.
Nice idea by ZETA, and good try by Dead too, picking up 3 in the round. But NRG's composition is going to be extremely good in post plants. Some of the pros call this the kind of protect the president comp, where the idea is that you're just escorting the Viper onto sites, and then you're putting down the orb, you're putting down the snake bites, and it just makes it incredibly difficult to set retake in. And one of the other reasons that ZETA's comp, though, might have ways of playing around this is that they can be very free with where they're positioned. They're going to get passive information from Alarm Bot, from Turret, from the trademark too. So that means that you can free up your players to rotate much more quickly around the map, because you're not worried about people lurking on you.
Which should help them, ideally with the flood defense, but NRG game plan now taking up the orb over towards C, see if they can get the ults online. I mean, Victor is 3 away now. Goes towards it with the kills and the plans that he's getting.
Trailblazer just sees a completely empty C site. Finesse looking to try and take it instantly.
Don't have garage control though. Still orbs up. Finesse doesn't have any snake bites.
Yeah, prioritize the buy, the full armor here.
Nades. A little bit late in terms of denying. They're out into the open. There's a flash as well. It connects ever so slightly delayed. Laz be able to do much more from this one with the plant down.
And look at this, the idea of trying to push back through a high tide and cascade.
Yeah, you just get slowed.
And then you're taking decay damage, and you're also potentially taking vulnerable when Finesse has got his snake bites up in later rounds. It is really, really difficult to pull off retakes. And ZETA don't have a big retake. They don't have Sova Breach, where you have tons of utility to be able to get back in. They need to be ready to fight as the plant goes down, as Finesse gets into sight. And now as they get weapons up, we'll get to see what this defense looks like properly. Much more spread, less of a gamble.
As has the rendezvous for safety up just behind him. He looks like he wants to try and take that line into short. There's a 5-ball in his face though. Plenty of bodies ready and waiting. NRG. Finesse though for now holding this corner. So is Laz. Backing away, and they do have the setup for it. I mean, ZETA, they've got the right idea. There's a star laid down to try and help the players defending around A short. Well defended over towards A.
Nice from Laz, and
Laz.
the Trailblazer too, getting info behind this Viper wall.
Does Victor expect this? I mean, nasty angle when you're on top of the box. That is also particularly nasty. Precise with that one, a jump spot punished. Good adjustment though, Victor is there. Not taking a TP, not to safety. Laz, maybe a bit of a misstep. Wanted to just try and buy his time a little bit more, closer towards it. NRG now getting that plant down. It's a situation you don't want to find yourself in. If you are ZETA Division, trying to retake into this, look at it again, cascade, orb.
Depp got past the orb though. Could be a danger for Ardiis. Still chances here for ZETA, but it's going to get tough.
Yeah, and Heaven's being watched for. 10, look at this angle. Som's just currently sitting at, just watching it. Anybody who pushes forwards, it's just, yeah, crumbling.
What a bonus from NRG. Laz was the real danger player there, set up on that deep line down short.
You need to hold on to controller short there. I can understand why Laz didn't take the TP, but...
I mean, to be honest, I think he was happy to duel against Ardiis again. That's just spam from everyone, but Ardiis swings through this smoke instantly to try and trade the fight. Super confident. Laz is thinking, yeah, I'm kind of posted. I'm here early enough to be able to take a duel like this and feel favored about it.
Yeah.
And Ardiis just swings and deletes him. 6-1 already in the map. The times where we've seen Ardiis play Jet here, I feel like it's his best map.
Big reveal here. Yeah. I mean,
he always pops off.
Fights, he is bobbing off. They spot a ton of bodies. NRG, Finesse making a call here to just lurk up towards A. Well, Laz, that's nice. Not claiming a second. Good exit strategy. Finesse. Arms out wide. Orb. Drop down. How does he play this one now?
Laz is calling over the reinforcements.
Yeah, it's definitely brought time over. Oh my, Headhunter!
Down A.
A few more bullets left to do some serious damage. That's a team flash. Unfortunate.
That's not useful.
There's a minute left to play with, and NRG, they do slow it down, so showing a bit of discipline.
They can go for the full rotate here. Maybe use a Reckoning just to make sure that one of the sites is clear. Instead, actually, they're using Ardiis as a bit of a lurk player. This is a weird strategy to go for when you're down players.
Got 2 smokes. He might be able to evade the trademark. Yeah, and he's pushed up behind him. He can hear the trademark. Oh, no, okay. That's going to pull them all the way back, along with the spike as well, over towards his area.
Wow, that fake onto B has absolutely worked like a treat. What a play by called by Finesse. Just pulled everyone away from the A site, and Ardiis walked in.
No one to defend. There's a deep Stardo. Let it bloom. A chance to try and come through into it. It's played to perfection. Ardiis. Oh, yeah. So willing to take that fight. Now, listen. Yep, eco kills. Okay. Also, already had his ult, so if I'm really being a critic, someone else should have got those kills. No, I'm kidding. But he's doing all right.
I mean, they dodged a rough situation there. Laz hit 2 beautiful shots with the Headhunter to be able to put his team in a nice situation to win. And
that is lovely.
Finesse called a beautiful fake on the other side, using the fact that his Viper wall covers short and B to create pressure on both sides, combined that with a harbor wall from Som, and it really sold the B hit. ZETA were trying to full rotate. It's like come get this or come get these?
I mean, that greatly changes the reaction, I think, when you make it these, which I will not be repeating on broadcast. Or maybe I will. Depends if we have another tech pause, but...
ZETA taking the time out here to try and figure out what's going on. And I actually think that it's too early to tell. To be honest, I mean, what? They've played the pistol and the bonus.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Sure, round 4 felt like it was winnable, and it maybe feels like there's something going on there. But you've got to hope that the coaches identified something that's going to be really useful heading into these later rounds.
This comp is really hard to play against. I mean, the double war comp on Haven might be approaching the point as well, just in terms of success rates on it, that it becomes almost a standard, I think, on Haven.
It was one
really
of the things
difficult to deal with.
It was one of the things that annoyed me the most about watching Loud is that they weren't playing Haven with this composition, and they've just brought it back into the rotation. So, love to see that from the Americas teams. And it's going to put a real twist on things for squads like ZETA in Pacific.
Yeah, it's the hardest going with this. Judge, Blade Storm.
Straight into Laz with Chamber Ult.
Yep, tour de force here, holding this corner and the angle, but it's such a difficult shot to hit. Barely a timing here, and look at the util. Dump all the way through! Dep! No way! That's 4 that fall! Now's the time to go for the ace! Man. Insanity! And the ace! Holy!
It's over in a flash! This is over and done so quickly!
Yeah, that's my reaction. Bro, there's no way.
Dep is there just to support Laz in case something like that happens. It's a bait and switch kind of setup.
Doesn't stop there.
What is that one as well? God. This is one of the fastest ace plays I've seen.
That is crazy. That's like the final bullet as well. Oh my God.
That's one to fire ZETA up.
Yeah. If you needed a round to get you back into it, that's it.
And it would have been a cool play even had Dep not instantly aced. The idea being that Laz takes contact, TP's away, and it plays Dep in, you know, for a cheeky 2 with NRG not checking the corner. That's what they were hoping would happen. They got more than they even bargained for.
Both flashes used early by Crashies. He was just clearing towards C in mid, ensuring that it wasn't taken, but it didn't clear close to the corner 10. Crosshair placement's good though. Ardiis, good awareness.
Continues to be a demon on these entries.
He is.
He's 10-2. He's slaughtering ZETA, apart from the prior round.
Footstep, maybe? I'm sure, but Laz is playing in front of his trademark. There's no way. Okay. Clear in the corner.
Teleport's
locked down. You have got to be joking, Laz. You've got to be joking. No way! Okay. Evened it up. 4 versus 4, and it's locked down. Oh, Victor can't catch that rotation. It's thrown confusion into the mix.
ZETA want to try and get into sights as quickly as possible, but there's nobody really here. It's only Dep. He spotted one.
Yep, spotted it now, and you really have to put a bit more of a defense.
That
missing.
did not go where Finesse was
locked down. Earned inside the smoke, bit of spam. Dep just really falling there. Crow towards the back. To pieces.
This
where the
round's
round's
done.
going. It is done. You can't play into this one.
It is just all wrapped up.
Win taken out the sails for ZETA Division.
Yeah, jeers from the crowd, but sensible option for ZETA, just trying to keep hold of whatever guns they have. You can, I mean, you can't even really do damage to the NRG economy. You just end up running into sight.
Yeah.
And you see that ZETA really need to be playing for these flood defenses.
They do.
They can't afford to play big set retakes like that. But when you leave A open, it then leaves you in a weird spot where Dep and Crow are just trying to run back in. You know, they just get spammed.
Yeah.
So ZETA are currently finding it very difficult to get the read on where Finesse is rotating the troops. They have the freedom, more so than most compositions, in terms of where they position themselves, because they've got all of that Sentinel utility to still give them info around the map, and yet still FNS has got them in loops.
Have to see the adjustments here. I did like the initial defensive setup by ZETA. I mean, when they play Laz into short, I think he needs a little bit more help if you are going to try and defend him there.
That's an unfortunate one, Dep falling. Though his position was known. He'd already been spotted up in heaven. Finesse has a decent eye.
Dep has an Odin.
Okay, that's a little interesting.
Thought he was going to go for a play at double doors. Not quite. He's going to look towards C.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. sheer firepower to brute force it maybe. Trailblazer spotting out the alarm bot now. We'll clear that one.
And they'll have spotted the fact that there's an Odin over there. I mean, he's already shot. Laz posted behind the Viper wall. So this isn't going to deny too much information over towards A. He's got his trademark too. And Crow flashes to make sure no one's timed him down long. So now Laz can just be left watching A. Crow has the freedom to be able to rotate off and help 10, but 10 is currently getting pressure.
In with the Cove. Is that a lineup? Looking nice with it, honestly. Ardiis dashing up towards the top! And he's granted one. Not quite a freebie, still have to work for it.
It's another kind of pump
yeah, bait
fake
and switch. There are players to meet them, though. ZETA, they are here, and they are trying to strike back here with the Odin, the crossfire. Sugar Zero, close to the corner now, avoiding it, but does not avoid the fire. And again, it's Laz picking up the pieces out in the open, man.
NRG are catching ZETA off on so many of these angles.
Yeah.
Deb, too, just, I mean, you know, going back and forth from the ADS takes so long on the Odin. He doesn't really have the time to be able to do that.
It's a bit weird.
And NRG are hitting the site. But these plays are so well constructed from NRG.
And how do you even win this? Nano Swarms. 3 players to clear and flush out. Laz, he's got the money. If you go this one, turret takes first contact. Nano Swarms, deaded. It's just an impossibility.
Yeah, I don't think there's any timing.
Yeah. And they lined up. But this is NRG domination.
And Laz struggling in a 1v3 there that seems unwinnable. And also having to try and call against Finesse on this map. Puts him in a similar level of a bind.
Enemy remaining.
Look at these fights. NRG just peeking you from expectation, like angles that you don't expect.
Ardiis is frying as well. I mean,
he is
14-3.
I swear he always goes nuts on Haven playing Jet. This composition sets him up for so much success because you get free space with the Cascades and the Viper Walls.
Here it is, push forwards here. 10, he's earned his showstopper close to the corner here. This has to be cleared. They've got to know it. What's he looking for here? Showstopper, Satchel up into the air. The dash back, though, Ardiis as healthy as anything.
What a
150.
dodge.
Completely avoided.
And now NRG leave again. You know, ZETA are worried. They could still be all the way down short and down long, and NRG are just taking map control and playing with it so well. They're bamboozling ZETA. Still have 3 players over towards A, only now looking for a reclear towards short.
You know, witness the masterclass. That's what it feels like here. Seekers clearing the way. Safe path into the back of the site. Laz with the operator trying to retake. Shots are fired off, but nothing gained. Ardiis is unorthodox. The Viper's pit. I mean, this essentially should win it. It's going to take so much more. Into the corner here. Crow. Trailblazer. Ardiis forced to back away. He's out in the open. Taken out into the sky here, but still they have this Viper's pit to get through. They've used all their tools, really. The boom button. Trailblazer spam into the corner. Som survives on 2 health. Flash around over the top, Laz.
Oh, tragic.
They thought he was being cheeky with it. Drop, though. Exchange still. They have so many tools to just push them away here. NRG, as long as they survive. And yeah, it ticks away any chances now of winning this one. You have to back away. This is heartbreak for ZETA.
One of the things that I think NRG do at a world-class level, up there with the very best teams in the world, is mix in different tempos to their game. They'll hit you with a fast round, and it'll look exactly the same as if they're going for a fake, and it'll look exactly the same as if they're going for a slow round too. You know, their cascade that they use down A, you have no idea if they're going to instantly go into an A hit off the back of that. The round where Finesse was able to post up Ardiis in short and then fake the B hit looked very, very similar to what they just did on B. And you only know once it's already too late and the plant's down. And at that point, this composition just does the rest, because Finesse's Viper utility is a nightmare to get through.
Yep. The Viper utility, the Nano Swarms, the 4 positions being played, I mean. Yeah. Collecting the signatures. But this is 7-1. Last time out being used by ZETA, by the way, in the first half. I mean, not many rounds left towards it, but you really do have to salvage it here.
This first half seems almost signed and sealed already by NRG.
Yeah.
ZETA are going to have to come up with something enormous to recover it.
And I mean, getting the ankles broken doesn't help. If I mean, at the core, again, against this composition, we've already been, talking about it. You have to flood defense. You have to try and play to push them away so they can't even set up into post plants in the first place. But it's a 3-side map of Haven, and when Finesse is calling on it, he's obfuscating everything.
He certainly is. And on top of that, it really helps when Ardiis is getting every first kill, it feels like. That was a major problem when they played against Billy. I said it before, I'll say it again. They were 2 and 8, Ardiis and Victor combined on that second map on the attack side.
Grouped up. Plays to meet them. This looks like a full-on hit from NRG. That lineup as well is going to be going, I believe, towards the back of the site so nobody can flood in. Nano Swarm. Cascade spamming. No kills.
No damage.
Yeah, no damage, in fact. All the way through with the dog. It catches, and Ardiis seeks the claim, and late claim 2. They're in a sight here. Dodge out. That flash is excellent. 10. It's desperation at this point with the Stinger. Vulnerable up. He has to swing into them, and he cannot do a bloody thing.
Victor as well spams onto Crow, who was trying to send in some level of flash to support. And Laz, IGL star player on Chamber, left wondering where it's going so wrong. NRG are ready for what ZETA are throwing at them. It's a nice idea from ZETA. I feel like that's one of the reasons why Depp even picked up an Odin in one of the prior rounds, is to try and spam if NRG are using the Cascade to take C long. And they just counter spam. And then the ZETA players can't do a thing.
Last feeling like he has to go for it.
There's 7.
No, you have to save, yeah. It's ticking. He hears the footsteps.
If he does save,
doesn't do anything, no.
No, if he does save, at least he has an op and can drop somebody else. These situations are gutting. And especially when you feel like you have the mechanical ability to win some of these, some of the time, you feel like, oh, maybe I should go for it.
Yeah. There's a reason we were saying, ZETA Division potentially going to be looking back at that Bayern map when they were on map point and kicking themselves. The turning point of the series, because yeah, it is essentially the playground of Finesse.
And you have to keep up the pressure constantly on NRG. You think back to how Billy were able to upset them. There was always pressure in their face. Now, NRG were never allowed to get comfortable. Once they find the comfort zone and find the rhythm, it is so difficult to push them out of it. That's the task that ZETA now have. Looks like 10 might want to get aggressive down mid. Bit of a walk push. He's tucking into Cubby again. He's done this already. Let's see whether NRG think about it if they do end up going back to it.
Hey, both Nanos committed. Just to clear out that spot, they're going to be weighted out.
That's weird, though. I mean, that's a major defensive tool that's just to be... And a lockdown!
Yeah, this is so early on.
18 seconds into the round.
20, but they're trying to funnel players into 10, who's close up into mid. He's got the rest of his team here. They're hoping for a reaction from NRG.
But they're just not doing it. There's no quick reaction. Instead, NRG are just looking to try and retake the space that they just lost. ZETA are going to have to find a timing.
And, well, losing the fights out. It's traded by Depp here. Grouped up, Satchels getting out of there. Laz is behind you. Crashes falls, and here's the instantaneous reaction. Ardiis already deep onto the side. Sugar Zero left to try and shut this one down. Up drop down. No way. Sugar Zero thought it was all clear. Som's helping him out. Beaming down the opposition.
Laz got it all to do on the flank.
Fast flank, but Finesse has got the angle. Moving forwards, wasn't quite favoured. Damage done to either side here. Where's the kill? It's collected. All for the IGL. 8-1, about to be 9-1.
And ZETA are throwing everything they can at the wall here, trying to get something to stick, and it's just not working. Crow's in a spot where even if he jumps out on the ledge, he's got Som and Finesse waiting to gun him down. It's just another unwinnable 1v3 that ZETA find themselves looking towards. And this, probably the closest round they've had to be able to put one on the board in a long while. Laz found a really nice timing past Victor's alarm bot right as Victor fell, and it felt like there might be something happening there. Up until Ardiis just drops down from heaven and nails the shot onto Sugar Zero. Even when ZETA have ideas that are working and timings that they find, NRG have found their form and they're now on fire. I mean, look at this. That's the kind of situation where maybe, Sugar Zero's a little quicker around the corner, a little quicker on the trigger.
Maybe collects it onto Ardiis. Yeah, there's a chance potentially, but you can feel the frustration.
Especially for Laz, who we know already wears his heart on his sleeve, right? We've seen it at previous tournaments too, how much these losses can affect him. But he's now the IGL, the team captain, everything, all of the weight on his shoulders. Superstar, IGL, has to try and make something work here.
Deep nade into the position, but Finesse has already passed it into the angle. Tucked into short. The order is sent out. The rest of his team looking to try and break some of this utility. Turret only just placed here, actually. Off on the angle there. Crash is trying to spam through the wall to bring it down.
Ardiis is looking to poke and prod towards B. And Laz is set up here with an interesting setup. Rendezvous manages to get him out into spawn so he can really try and hard anchor towards the back. But
he's looking really left and right. Yeah, I mean, there's no one else covering a different section.
No. Oh. Spotted.
And it's clear, 10 with a chance. Yeah, jumping right into the fray here, but a call is made for NRG. Jumping straight into this one. Trailblazer catches.
Oh, he got punished.
Stays it!
How is Ardiis slaughtering them all so easily?
Ripping them to pieces. Cast the curse.
Down he goes.
Yeah, Crow.
Another 1v3 for Crow.
Just cannot be done. Surely, but you have to make a go of it here. Crossfire setup, it's impossible. It's just impossible.
He's got a flash.
Disheartening. Truly disheartening.
I mean, absolutely brutal for him. Everybody on NRG, everybody on ZETA, quiet, allowing Crow to play the clutch, but realizing that this game has completely slipped away from them.
This is it. At this point, on the precipice, it's an elimination match. ZETA on the verge of going home.
And in the silence that's forced by these dreadful clutches towards the ends of the rounds, that sense of dread is going to seep in.
Yeah.
And when Ardiis is doing stuff like that to you, what's the answer? There simply isn't one unless you can stand up and shoot back.
Right now. He's a monster. Last round of the first half.
We haven't seen a 13-1.
No, I mean, we haven't. And we've seen comebacks before. Maybe not like this.
I don't think I've ever seen one like this, Brent.
Yeah. Turret taken care of. Laz seeking to reclaim that space right after the point here. Oh, Blazer. Not sure if that spotted anything, but 10's close to the corner as well onto this one. And they're all falling once more. They're trying to fight over to this, but again, it makes it so difficult to read. The Viper wall up in their faces. Okay, Reckoning.
Just running around with util out.
Feet. A chance for Crow, but barely that. Just a chance. Can't take it. And again, it's Laz, IGL captain.
Spike planted.
This time you have to make the play into it, but you've got walls to get through, the lockdown to get through. It's an impossibility. It's just not possible. And yeah, he realized, I mean, even just like the detainment here, he's like, okay, well, what can you do?
What's he gonna do?
That is sad. Yeah.
The last time that these two teams faced, it was heartbreak for ZETA, but in a very different way. A great run ended this time. Looking down the barrel of the end of their entire year, not been able to replicate that same level of success they found at Reykjavik. And what a deflating way for it to look to end. An 11-1 half, completely outplayed here.
Pure domination. Yeah, Finesse has just called an absolutely impeccable game on this half as well. Ardiis playing lights out on top of it. Absolutely incredible stuff. Let's send it down to the desk to break it down.
Thank you so much, fellas. Wow. NRG, absolute decimation on Haven. And we knew that Haven was going to be a strong map for NRG, but Sean, I'll be honest, I didn't think this strong, given what we were talking about leading into the series. I'm kind of stunned, honestly.
I think a lot of it is to do with FNS's calling, but you also obviously have to have a jet like Ardiis just taking all of the space with the cascades. Sideshow and Brent did a great job of pointing that out, actually. He was always trailing the cascades up long A. He was taking space on C, going up garage aggressively, going into B, doing kind of the Dirk updraft onto the box. So many entries.
Yeah. And we've been waiting for the map where it's like, okay, this is the NRG we know, with a really good, consistent mid-rounding. Even when they're winning, they're coming up with new ideas. And I think this first half was clearly that.
Yes.
NRG continued to be one step ahead. And honestly, Zeta just looked deflated.
Yeah, there was only one bright spot, and that, of course, takes us to our HyperX reflex moment. You got to give some flowers there to Def. It was quite the moment there for him to be able to pull that off, but that's all they were able to get.
But your only round is an ace. I think that just speaks to the tragedy of this game right now for Zeta. They went on an incredible run in the Pacific LCQ. Most people didn't think that they would win that tournament. A big game over Secret. They come here, play some close matches, and then this game, where their only round is an ace. And I think that's a testament to just how well NRG is playing right now.
Yeah, that's insane that he just got that ace in the Reckoning in Garage. It's almost impossible to dodge the stun in that zone.
It might be like the fastest ace I've ever seen.
A Jet Blade Storm coming right in his face. I mean, that's an incredible ace, but to walk away with that being your only round with double Sentinel is just, that's depressing.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, folks. Zeta, they're going to need to pull off a miracle to come back into this game, or else NRG are moving on in this competition. Let's send it back over to your casters.
Yeah, we use the word miracle a lot as well, but I mean, it would have to be the case here. NRG are just on the cusp of it, man. 11-1, heading into the pistol round now, and I mean, the form that they're in.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic to be able to close things out. What a recovery from NRG too, after being upset by Billy. And then looking dodgy in map 1, and it going all the way to OT. They've absolutely dismantled Zeta here.
Breaking the util though, they're fast. Straight through B
Laz could get
into
caught.
A bit of a squeeze attempt. Are they going to go with it? No, actually going to go for the plant onto B, but taking control of the connector Laz. Definite potential here for him to get caught, and he does, so it's cleared out. They're waiting for that lurk.
Look at 10 though. 10 has blast packed all the way up into heaven.
How was this happening?
Right there.
Som's heard something.
Yeah, he's heard it. He spotted it. Just seeking to contain.
This is a bizarre post-plant situation.
Very weird. Close together now. They want to take the fight to him. No way, man. It's right clicks. It shares the pistols. The ones that are really sailing him through. A tap onto it, forces out the pull, but 10. They know where he is. He's spotted out, and he's brought down.
NRG have never lost a match like this. We often see this core have slow starts in international tournaments, but they don't go out in groups that easily. A lot of naysayers after they lost to Billy, a lot of fraudulent accusations being levied online. And certainly with Bind, they were pushed. There were chances for Zeta to win that, many of them. But here, there was not a single one. The only round being gained by an ace. NRG looking like they've rebounded with a fierce fashion.
Setting themselves up for the series win continuation. Zeta, the verge of going home. Much earlier than they perhaps wanted. Ardiis, top of the box here. Returned with the fire. The shots are rattled, forcing the rotations from NRG.
Blinded.
Flash over the top though. Good reload. They are grouped up and they're finding it difficult to get options here. Trailblazer spots it, so is there. Now Crashes with the most to do, but at this angle, it could seriously cause some decimation. Star's nice to set them back up onto it along with the Trailblazer. Doesn't get broken, so has to back away here. Fast up onto the angle, but look at this util. Immediately, high tide, cuts it off. Zeta just can't really get through it.
Oh, they don't need those kind of moments as well.
Stars drop, this is it. This is the moment. It's the turning point. It's where NRG really just make their stand and lay claim to it. Continuation in the tournament, they do not go lightly. Zeta still here, but Deb's the last one left. Jumping right click in his face, taking the fight to him. Picked up the upgrade. 1 versus 1, him versus Victor. Victor, a chance to make a clean cut. Turret spotted out, doesn't hit the shot, needs to stick the plant. Pressure mounting, and Victor delivers it. A final blow. And NRG, they send Zeta home.
In the most dominant map that we have seen thus far at Champions, and an absolutely bizarre one. 13 rounds of excellence from NRG. Ardiis playing out of his mind in a finesse masterclass that Sean had a 90% chance of happening. Completely delivered. The only round where they slipped up an ace. an absolutely bizarre way to end the series, but NRG firmly rebounding. And ZETA, you know, they'll be having nightmares about map 1 for sure, because there were chances to win that. But they had no hope on Haven.
No, that was just a complete shutout.
And it's an unfortunate way, it really is. Heartbreak, you're right, Brent, for the year to end for ZETA Division. Their run at Reykjavik, an absolute dream, but so far in the past, and at this point, barely a memory.
Even a chance of vengeance, but for NRG, they're looking renewed, honestly. Under the mental turmoil that they might have been going through in their loss to Billy, and now they've earned themselves a spot as well. A bit of a rematch. That will be a vengeance game, won't it?
Certainly will. I'm very excited to see the rematch and see what NRG have brought to the table, whether Billy can continue that excellent performance we saw from them. And NRG were pushed, remember, on map 1. Well, you couldn't find 2 more different maps, I don't think.
No.
In terms of the competitiveness.
So different. Beginning to end.
This team does tend to rebound in spots like this. They have a history of winning rematch games as well. When they see their opponents and figure out plans and counters, they came extremely prepared.
Got you off there. Oh, yeah. I mean, building the desk with the points are out.
Absolutely.
Write this one down, yeah.
Yeah.
NRG, absolutely ridiculous win for them. I mean, 13-1, sheer domination.
I wonder what this will do to the doubters.
Oh, the fraud remarks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because
I mean, there's signs of weaknesses there, but listen, I mean, even wounded animals bite back. They've still got a couple of maps that are just really looking good.
Absolutely, the Haven looks spectacular. Both of the America's teams that have had a bit of stumble, Loud and NRG, both looking excellent here with the Harbor Viper on Haven. It's going to be something to keep an eye out later on in the tournament.
Yeah, most definitely. Unfortunately, does mean we send ZETA Division home, but celebrations abound here for NRG. Living another day, and we're going to see how far they can really go as well. This team has done solid work at international events, the Cordis roster. They've seen success all the way to the finish line at times.
This was a tough one. I do feel for Laz. I really do. He's got so much on his shoulders. And the Japanese fans expect a lot from this team. They've just not quite been able to deliver it in 2023.
Yeah, looking forward to the future as well. I mean, 2024, new beginnings for this squad as well. Who knows what will happen, but for now, we're focusing on the here and now. It's champs in the groups. It is deadly when you get down to it, when the elimination games.
You know, Ten tried to pick up the judge a few times. We saw the judge ratings coming out. It didn't really do as much as YZ on Split.
Bit of a replication.
I mean, Split didn't end up getting played here today as well, but at the same time, I am so hyped for that rematch to occur.
Yes, that is going to be a good one. I mean, listen, the stories, they write themselves of it. Yeah, seeing if it can be brought back all the way. Will Billy do it a second time? I mean, lightning striking.
Do you think Ardiis knows who he is?
I mean, definitely at this point. I mean, he should know who he is at this point as well. I mean, yeah, that's going to be hotly anticipated as well. Getting the interview set up and ready as well, in case you're wondering why we're waffling around. But yeah.
Can't see exactly who it's going to be with, but I am interested to hear it. Like, looking forward towards that one.
Okay, well, it's going to be with Ardiis here. Dan's on the floor with a lovely post-game interview. Take it away.
Thank you guys so much. I'm joined by Ardiis. Everybody give it up for Ardiis. Popping off today on the map number 1, 27 kills, on the map number 2, 19 kills. And when it's moments like this one, we're just having a feast with the enemy. Tell me, what is it like? Is it just everybody trying to play around you and letting you have these moments?
I'm just having fun. We're playing to have fun. I'm running around, killing people. It is what it is. Like, when you're feeling it and everyone in the team's helping you, it's super easy. And yeah, just I want to thank my team and everyone who's here. So thank you.
It looked so easy for you. Yeah. And I want to ask you right at the beginning, that map number 1, you guys had a little bit of a slower start. Was there ever a point of concern, or was it just, we know we're going to come back, even if it's overtime, it's going to be fine?
We knew we were going to win. We knew we were going to win. Listen, we ain't losing to ZETA, you know what I mean? We ain't losing to ZETA. We ain't losing to Billy again. Trust me right now, we'll be in playoffs, and we're guaranteed. I promise you that.
And I know you're mentioning Billy. I want to ask you, the NRG core, they're known for having those slow starts and then always going on a run right after.
Yeah.
When you joined the team, did you feel that? Did you feel that slow start? And what is the secret? What's going on?
I mean, listen, we lost to Billy Gaming, so like it's definitely a very slow start. But like in the future, where listen, it's NRG, Envy, Optic. They've been known to have slow starts. It's the same in NRG, but like I tried my best to have a fast start, but it is what it is. Fennis is cursed. He's cursed for life.
And now, I have a question for that match against Billy, actually. Right at the end, you guys look a little bit frustrated, the mental was down, but today, it was going great, you guys look confident from beginning to end. Is that the mental part something that you guys work on and are going to continue to work on throughout the tournament?
I think we just overcomplicated against Billy. I think we would just play simple and play what we know. We're better players, we're a better team, so if we just keep it simple, we win the game. So, yes, sir! The crowd, no, the crowd.
And my last question then, do you have any words to say to Billy as you face them for that rematch?
You guys are going home, 100%. Guaranteed, I promise you that.
All right, he's saying 100%. We're going to have to wait for that match as we send it back to you guys. Thank you, Ardiis.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you. God bless.
Oh my word, Ardiis with the spice, mas picante. I need a little bit of a cool off for a minute with how hot that was, maybe.
Yeah, it was, I mean, that's just Ardiis. He's always going to say things like that. But the thing that stuck out to me was the answer before that one, where he said, we overcomplicated things, we just need to simplify, calm down. The last time I heard him say that was, I think, week 4 or 5 of Americas. After they went 1-4, they were looking, no offense if you guys are still hearing, looked awful. Then they absolutely turned the season around. They won pretty much every other game. They went into playoffs.
Keith and he cursed the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's when he got fined like something like $1 million, I think.
Keith Joy.
But he said the same thing, and that's when they brought it back. That's when NRG became the top 2 squad in Americas that they ended as. And I don't know, I kind of feel similar vibes now after this win versus ZETA.
I think this Haven win right here was such an important win for the team's mental and just having a map in the pool that you're super confident with. I don't think they ever expected ZETA to be picking Bind into them. I don't think they expected anyone to ever pick that, so that probably blindsided them.
It wasn't just a win, it was how they did it, I think, right? Yeah. Like, you know, there were a lot of people a lot of what Brennan Teicher was saying, what Dan was asking Ardiis, like they were doubting this team and whether or not they had the capability to be able to do it. And honestly, if you looked at Bind and you're like, whoa, what is happening here? I'm sure people probably did believe that, but this Haven game proved that this team is that top squad that should beat these teams that they view as below them, quote unquote.
Absolutely, and I think we know it's over for everyone else because Finesse smiled for the first time ever.
Indeed.
He said to me multiple times that there should be no fun, that his policy is against fun, which I really stand by. I think that's very based of him. But to see him smiling, you know it's something's up, something's changing.
He probably hated that tech boss.
He
probably did. But you know who's smiling?
Too much fun.
That guy on the screen that we just saw right there.
Pretty good player, pretty big numbers.
He had quite the game. That was the type of game that you need to see out of Ardiis. That was the reason why he was brought onto this team, and I think that is a confidence builder for him for sure.
Yeah, and he's going to need to do that again when they go up against YZ again, because man, YZ tore them up. I think he was probably the best duelist in the server that day, but Ardiis is confident this time around, and I don't think they're going to underestimate them at all.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a lot of talk up there, but when we get into the game, it's going to be serious business here. Unfortunately, that means we have to say goodbye to ZETA Division. The Japanese squad that everyone knows and loves, they've been here time and time again in these championship event situations, and it's just unfortunate that they weren't able to find their footing, and it's also unfortunate that the 2 teams that they played against were Fnatic and NRG. But look, to quote, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And how can you expect to win a tournament if you can't beat Fnatic, if you can't beat NRG? So I really hope to see ZETA really pick up the pieces in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been kind of the hope for ZETA for a long time. We've been waiting for them to recapture the magic that, as Josh was saying, is now a long-distant memory in Reykjavik. They're always good in Japan. They've always been the best team in that region. And it's kind of this question of when is Japanese VALORANT going to have another moment when they can break through. I thought it would be this event after their excellent run in the LCQ, but it's just not there yet for ZETA Division.
I just think the depth isn't there right now when you look at ZETA Division. Their map pool clearly isn't flushed out, and the agents, they have to kind of get forced into almost. It's just not meta right now in the game. So they're struggling across the board, and they're forced to pick maps like Bind into NRG.
Yeah, which that in itself was already going to be setting themselves up for a lot of difficulties in this series. But that being said, though, looking forward to seeing what ZETA does next season. We'll be keeping our eyes on them, but that means that the day is over and it's coming to a close. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket, though. And good news, guys, no 3 games today, just 2.
That's reasonable.
Here you have it. Some great matches that are going to be on the horizon. You got FUT taking on T1, EDG versus Giants. You have Na'Vi versus Loud, and then, as we just saw, NRG versus BLG, Billy Gaming. There are a lot of great matches, Mimi, that I'm excited for in these lower matches.
The first one tomorrow is going to be so good. Na'Vi versus Loud.
Oh, yeah.
2 teams that have won a tournament before. Loud, honestly, looking revived after the last match we saw from them. And a Na'Vi that I think has also made some improvements heading into Champions, but only one of them can make that one of those last few spots into the playoffs, which is just going to be so exciting to watch.
I'm actually so excited for the NRG Billy rematch.
Same.
I'm so excited about that, just because there's so much trash talk between the teams. I just never would have thought that would be the case coming into this tournament. It's just a storyline we were blessed with.
You know, it's been so funny to see the comparison between like some of the EMEA teams and the Americas teams in how they're treating the Chinese teams. Because it's like Boostio and Ardiis are just like, yeah, man, we're the best team in the world. None of these Chinese teams can fight us, whatever. And then like Fnatic is out there like posting pictures with their new best friends, all cute together. It's just, it's
all
so
part of the
funny.
strategy.
And it's gonna, I think, be really funny if NRG loses to BLG. But I don't know. NRG and rematches, they are dangerous.
That is true, and that is something that we'll have to talk about when the day arrives. But that is going to do it for us here today. It's been quite the day. We played some games. We shared some laughs, maybe some tears. I don't know, depending on which side of the aisle you were on. But we appreciate you guys tuning in today. And don't worry, because we're back here tomorrow with plenty more awesome games. But for now, here's your Prime Gaming post-day highlights, and we'll see you tomorrow.
I was crying with that clock.
Crew want to prove that this Cinderella run that they went on was no fluke, but the Giants want to show the world that they are the real deal and not to be trifled with. I'm expecting a fantastic match from both of these teams.
He might be blinded up, but he's got teammates to cover. And Crew are dominating in round 11.
Oh! That's humiliation.
Have the board to play through that utility. His teammates fragmented, but Vitinho chooses his moment to strike. Stepping up when it matters the most, and it's Vitinho to find it.
They are clearing that angle this time. Cloud, though, has done well surviving. He's blind and still spraying away, but it's Kesnet to massacre them.
Sure, he's gone down, but the teammates flooding the site. Nukia's double leaves it on Klaus to try and claim space, and he gets nothing. 13-10. Giants have stolen Crew's map pick and set up for a 2-0 if they can claim Pearl. Only Cloud standing in wait. Okay, he'll get the first. Cloudburst lets him by some more. Cloud with 3. That might be the round. Landing Vitinho on another, and now he's got the support of Hoodie, going to be much more willing to swing through and help him. Damage done, Davies down, Kesnet tagged through the wall, and 8 rounds, Giants retake the lead.
They still have a snake bite, and they might not even need it, because they got Kesnet, who's just gonna pop ahead a second as well. They don't even need any of the util when this man's around.
We're holding on to mid, they put Vitinho here, and he's taking Kesnet out, following up for more. 14-12, 2-0. Giants are going for revenge.
ZETA have been put through the gauntlet in Champions 2023, having to face off against Fnatic, now needing to go up against one of the best from the Americas region. But that is a question on everyone's mind. Is NRG still one of the best in the Americas region? We're going to find out in this match right now.
Fast lane up already. They want to seek to punish this. Good shot to connect. Ardiis still with another one. A 1-2 punch. It's a one-man army. Let's go. Nade re-earn for Victor. Lovely jump spot. Boombot eating the bullets. Has to be a miracle now. Laz, shots. Can he make it 4? All the way to the side. ADS, 8 bullets left. That's the ace. Laz. That's what dreams are made of. Victor has brought them to an absolute crawl. 12-12, we're going to overtime. The util to choke them out, 15 seconds. 3 players waiting for them. It's just impossible for ZETA. the flash, there's the connection, but it's all sprayed down. And NRG gonna be leading that series. Let it bloom, and a chance to try and come through into it. It's played to perfection. Ardiis, barely a timing here, and look at the util dump all the way through. Dep, no way!
Now's the time to go for the ace.
Man, insanity, and the ace. Jumping straight into this one, Trailblazer catches.
Oh, he got punished.
Stays it.
How is Ardiis slaughtering them all so easily?
And NRG, they send ZETA home.
In the most dominant map that we have seen thus far at Champions, and an absolutely bizarre one. 13 rounds of excellence from NRG. Ardiis playing out of his mind in a finesse masterclass.